It says it right there, man. You can just write its attorney. It's up over here. I just popped in my earbuds out. Blue drill though. Are we at the end of this case? I believe we are. I mean, we're in day 4. Typically, it's like wrapping up at the finale. Especially for like, you know, the very first case of the game. It's not tutorial. Turn off. Turn off. It's off, okay. Now, let me get my stream open here. Hold on, hold on. Sure everything's good on this front. Numa, yeah. Numa, yeah. What was that? Oh. I apologize. That was good to me. Okay, I should be good. I gotta get my Streamlabs open, man. What the frig? Streamlabs is you. Dong ding, ding, dong. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Oh yeah, sneeze. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. What? Wearing what? When I came to, Mr. Bolliard was lying there dead. Alright. Well, alert box. Probably go under Trials and Tribulations. Drag you over here. Do a pound, man. I'm ready. Almost pogged. There we go. Had to resize it. Alright. Close the alert. Close Streamlabs and we're good. When I enter the office, I'm gonna press everything. Hold it. Making sure. Okay. There was a suspicious shadow. There were 1,000 of me, and I'd had to pay even what? And if even one knew, I tell you, trust me. His dodging all your questions is not helping us win this case. Other than Hal was the victim, Mr. Bolliard at the time. What do you mean by how was he? Was he already dead when he was still alive? Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place. Question, what do you think, Mr. Wright? Forget it. Hold it. Your forehead? Yes, I was in the forehead as soon as I entered the room. Amazingly fast and powerful attack. You remember anything about who hit you? Well, like I said, it was a fast and powerful hit. So I think I was a little dazed for a while. I only missed the light even grasp what you were asking. Yeah, I like to show him a fast and powerful attack myself. Maybe that should knock some sense back into him. That? Could you please clarify what you're referring to? Why, my mask to mask costume, of course. Wait just a moment. Mask to mask. Oh, did I forget to mention before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as mask to mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security. Huh? Nick, did you know about this? You never told me this. I don't recall him mentioning it to me either. Even I didn't know that. Seems a little friend who really loves to keep secrets. I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait, that's not right. You know how some... Huh? This cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly. And you're right, we can't ignore these new pieces of information. Please correct your testimony. I had been killed if I wasn't wearing my Master Mask costume. Why are you dressed up as Master Mask? Why? Because I'm Master Mask, of course. What are you talking about? Master Mask trial is being held next door. Ah, yes, I guess so. Anyway, at the time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Master Mask issue. Thought I should go as him just to be safe. Oh boy, let me tell you, it was real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I expected. Press harder. What do you mean by took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see? This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bolliard's body. What was that? Back up a second. Yes? You were the one that hid the body in the safe? Well, yeah. Inconceivable. Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? Question? When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine? What? Answer is simple. When they take them off. As usual, I have no idea what you're saying. Do you mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's the murderer? Huh? So you're not as stupid as you look. The metaphor this time was really obscure. Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about the whole safe business, did you? Well, yes. Why am I the only one not in the loop here? We'll just make sure you have to say your testimony. Looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather judge. I panicked and hit the button. Why is my phone so bright? Updating something? Alright, there we go. 10 minutes. Why did you hide the body in the safe anyway? Well, because it wouldn't fit in the drawer. That's not exactly what I meant. When I saw the corpse, I kinda lost it. I thought, if they find this corpse, they'll think I did it. Huh? I think you had a simpler reason than that. Because you killed him, that's why he spent him inside of the body. Surely makes more sense. Now, hold on. 10 minutes. What is it, Nick? Just had a thought. Under those circumstances, would you normally try to hide the body? Spend 10 whole minutes trying to do it? Under those circumstances, Oh. Hey, Nick, if you think his behavior was so strange, why don't you present some evidence that would show just what those circumstances were? That's it, I'll take a look at the court record. Not much in the testimony either, I bet she's still hiding something. Okay, I don't remember what we have in our court record, to be fair. Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record? What might this be? Record for the emergency buzzer that connects to the CEO's offices to security. If the button in the office is pressed, the security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m. Mr. Ron Delight truly was the murderer. He would have ran as soon as the buzzer sounded. After all, the security guard would have been heading his way. Ha. Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security professionals in the building. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them. But as it turns out, the guard never came. That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser, who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend, and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Delight could have known. Again, remember who we're dealing with here. Sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off. The buzzer is extremely loud, there is no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is. Conscious? What do you mean by that? Fine. Let's hear your theory. Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said that he felt dazed, willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes. Unconscious? So he fainted? But Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded, and that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. What are you trying to say? Mr. Delight was knocked out and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right, whoever it was that knocked out Mr. Delight, and then pressed the buzzer. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, this is... Objection? This is preposterous. It was this kid. Ron Delight is the one who killed Kane and Bulliard. Then who pressed the buzzer? It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away, he must have held on long enough to press the button. Heck. Kane Bulliard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion of this, Mr. Wright? And to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene, but how? I have no idea, man. It's been a couple of days. I can prove it alright. Defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. Piece of evidence proved that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. We do have the evidence because it did make us out. Does he have gloves on? I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for. The emergency buzzer. Got a clue on it? Absolutely not. Hey, come on now, at least give us some thought to what you say before opening your mouth. The fact that there are absolutely no clues. The clue itself. Now I'm the one who's clueless. Button has no fingerprints on it. Mr. Bulliard had really pressed it himself. Naturally, he would have left his fingerprints behind. Bah! Ron Delight obviously wiped them off. Why would he? A guard could have come in any moment. At any moment. He touched the button, I know he did. The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Mask to Mask. And Mask to Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have to wipe off the button for your fingerprints? Order, order, order. Huh? It would seem. I've been forced to eat crow. I wonder what blend number crow flavored coffee is. However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What was with the awkward silence all of a sudden? Huh? Looks like you were fresh out of parlor tricks. They're on you, Nick. Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. Real culprit killed Mr. Bulliard around 1 AM. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz into where the murder was taking place, right? Killer clobbered Mr. Delight, and that sounded the buzzer. Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed. Security was supposed to respond. Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's see what you have to say. Very well then. Oh ho, some guts like that in an opponent. The killer knew that if they pressed the button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted. Do you mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose? Yes. Although, as it turned out, he never showed up. Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time. What a touching story. Saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in? No, I'm not. Give me 48 seconds on the clock. Go, 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 go. When the buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bulliard, was already dead. The defendant, Rhonda Light, who was out cold. And third person, the real killer. Yes. Now then. In this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? Only one left in that room would be the victim, Mr. Rhonda Light. And the vending security guard came running. And at that time, they would think that I was the murderer. That was precisely what the real killer's objective. To frame Rhonda Light for the murder. No, no, no. Puh. Order, order, order. It would seem. I've been made to eat my words once again. Actually, you've been made to do a spit take. A cup of coffee. Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was that? Wait a second. I'm the one and only Master Mask, so. You mean the real killer is? Right, that person here right now. But who is it? I don't have any solid proof yet, but thinking about it, the killer knew Mr. Delight's identity. They also knew that he had been called into KP security that night. The killer then used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bulliard. Detective Luke at me. He is the one who could have done it. Ace Detective. Look at me. You mean Master Mask did it? Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Master Mask at all. He isn't actually the true murderer of Kane Bulliard. Dunk, 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 dunker, 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 dunker. Order, Mr. Explain yourself. Theft and murder, which is a more serious crime? They're not even close. Murder is a more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment. Please remember the trial from yesterday if you would. Luke had me confess there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as well, Master Mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along, to be found guilty. Master Mask has the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Liberty Taylor. Other words, being found guilty as Master Mask, with Luke Amy's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi. A guilty verdict as an alibi? Dunka dunka? Dunk 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 dunky dunky. You know, it's almost time. For what? For Luke Amy's verdict. It was pretty simple at trial after all. Going to stop this trial and stall that one. We need to do it now. Of course, that's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder. Luke Amy's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If he were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for appeal. Am I really sure about this, huh? I bet it's only as good as when you're left on the ante. Mr. Wright, I believe in you. Mr. Delight. So please, I'm begging you. Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Phoenix. What was that? Don't strike, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. That voice sounds like Mia. Your Honor, defensive request an immediate recess. Huh. That's your answer, huh? Very well, I've decided as well. Court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when you return, please summon Mr. Luke Amy to the stand. Yes, Your Honor. Dunky dunka, dunk 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 dunker dunk dunk. Well, Sir Detective Amy? I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. Oh no, Sir Detective Amy, you were the one who... That's enough? Oh my. Court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. Court finds that the defendant Luke Amy... Hold it. Wait, don't hand down your verdict yet, please. Well, Sir Lawyer, welcome to my courtroom. Who's this hosiery? My full name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law, and I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke Anthony. You mean, you accuse Master Mask? The man is not Master Mask, he's just a ruthless murderer. Eh? To be continued. Dunk 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 dunk. October 14th, 12:24 p.m. 12:14 p.m. My sis, I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. She's still alive inside your heart. Mickey boy. Oh, Miss Delight, is it true the detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definitive proof, but the only one who could have done it. Wasn't he the Hillary Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Adney want to kill Kane Bulliard? Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. Find some solid proof. Now that this court is back in session, Mr. Luke Anthony, please take the stand. Well, how do you do, Sir Lawyer? Never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. Couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Now when it would have been given you a perfect alibi. Alibi to be the name of Master Mask. I'm sorry, I'm afraid even the great Luke Anthony has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in this next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. Afraid there's no way I could have known what was going on in here. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Master Mask. Indeed, it's truly a child's play to fool. They are ignorant masses. Only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables. They even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. Continued to insist that you were in fact Master Mask. Of course. Very well done, Luke Anthony. Let's begin with a simple question. October 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bulliard was murdered. Where were you at the time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Thanks. Alright, Mr. Abby. Matter of the murder, speak. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. I'll light a candle. Dunk, 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 donkey, donkey. Good old Nature Springs. Alright, the alibi. Stealing the urn as Master Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. Photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. Time at which the camera captured Master Mask was the same time as the murder. Seems the main point of this discussion will be this photo of the crime scene. Everything else up until a part of his plan. Even the Grand Master Mask cannot be in two places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me. Fortunately, Mr. Emmy, you still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. Nobody's trying to say that you're a fool of it, Nick. The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. It's the picture. This photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed it is. The man in the photo is certainly me in the mask. He's certainly wearing a mask. This is why I'm called Master Mask. Conveniently, they also means there's no way to tell who this really is. What do you mean? Are you saying that this is not, in fact, Luke Anthony? Could be an accomplice dressed up as Master Mask to create an alibi? Oh ho, what an interesting idea. Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice? No. Again, me was a KB's master mask, and the picture has to be a fake. There really was an accomplice, but right now I have no idea who it is. I don't have any idea right now either. Baseless objections are just what this guy wants. Gotta be another way, I'm going to go find it. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point. That's right. Over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent a calling card to Lordy Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began with your security watch, right? Indeed, there was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. Perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see, you truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am. Hey Nick, is there something odd about this? The bad me was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordy Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective alibi. You know, that's true. It's kind of odd. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here? Is that correct? Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime? When you think about it, it really is odd. Say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose. It was simply called by the very camera that he set up. We don't have the days like that. Indeed, it turned out that there was no such thing as a perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing, a sad blue melody. Looks like I'd better gather more information for now. Surely the killer really gotta be something phony in that photo. About the camera that took the photograph? Oh, come on now, it's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, didn't you? Or don't you? I'm afraid that is possible. The camera was set up by the Lordy Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lordy Taylor's staff that printed the picture's data. Fortunately for the defense, there's no way the picture could have been altered. I see. Looks like I'd better find something else that could be suspicious. Alibi is false. I want to press the picture, but I'm not really sure how. And the photo is fake, what the photo itself is. Before I do that, we'll save. Alright, that's not it. I want to press the paint. But it's not these, so maybe I'm not seeing it. I think we need to like we need to press them, but I'm just not really sure how to do it. But none of them really give you the option to press the picture. It's just and say you have somebody else in mind. The photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed, that's it, the very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. Surely even you understand about that by now. Liberty Taylor provided that cameras, and there's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Cain Bulliard unless I had accomplice. Come on, think long and hard about that night. Basement warehouse and the picture supposedly captured it. Gotta be here. Are you implying that picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. Took a look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft took place. Something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Very well. Let's hear what you have to say. The funny part is right here. Why, this is a bloodstain. Ah, blood, now the case is getting interesting. Not exactly. Stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint? And peach colored at that. From blood to peaches, the judge sure loves going on his wild tangents. Problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse, it turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. Well, Mr. Wright? The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following. There's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, a golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I myself was there that night that theft took place. And saw the statue in that spot. That picture was truly taken on the night. That statue would have been there. But when I went there that day after the theft, the statue of that old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was accidentally pushed, somehow pushed there accidentally. Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move it at that distance. In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us a rhyme or reason as to why the statue was moved that night? Can you do it, Nick? Never mind who moved it. Why did they move it? Mr. Wright, I hope you are prepared for your answer. Now then, who was the one that moved the golden statue? Mr. Atme. The one who moved the statue is no other than Luke Atme. Come now, Sir Lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? Very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. Indeed, very simple. However, why would I want to move the heavy golden statue? Reason for moving the golden statue. Here's where our battle really begins. Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move the statue? Reason can be found here in this photograph. Look at me, you're pretending to be mask to mask. To create an alibi by showing you were at Liberty Taylor the night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would be exposed like cheap film at a drugstore. This is why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw? Interesting theory, please enlighten us. Just where in the picture does that lie exist? Naturally, the lie in this photo is a timestamp. What do you mean? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. The night in question, Luke Atme went to KP Security and murdered Cain Bulliard. Therefore, it's obvious it would have been possible for him to have been at Liberty Taylor at this time. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor. When was the statue placed beside the warehouse door? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime, and it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Luke Atme had already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim, and so in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't yet been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. So on the day of the crime, Mr. Atme must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in the rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down to a place where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Atme had to move the statue on the night of the murder. did it to make the room match with the way the photo had been, the way it had been in this photo. Wow. Order. Mr. Hemi, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What's that? Data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, camera had to indeed go off that night of the crime. It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lord Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage the data was yours. That alone would allow you to tamper with the data. Casual little Order, Mr. Gadot. What is the meaning of this? Gadot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put the coffee down. My 11th cup. I promise to drink no more than 17 during a trial. Which means, so good to the last drop. However, the defense has a very good point. Good point. So what? We are all but travelers on this road of infinite possibilities. I think he got his points mixed up with his other points. So you say the photograph was taken ahead of time, and the statue was moved in order to make it match. Very interesting idea. However, one point that can't be denied, which is it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. Very true. No way, don't fall for that, Your Honor. Hey, Mr. Damask. Yes? There's no funny business in your actions. There's no funny business in your actions, Damask. Should be no problem. With you telling us your strategy, so let's hear it. Yes, please provide the court with your testimony. Now you're planning to steal the Sacred Urn. Sacred Urn heist. I first received a request from Lord Taylor about 20 days ago. Urn was placed in the box, and Zavari. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my car 10 days beforehand. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. That's pretty much all stuff we've heard before. Isn't it? Yeah, but we will find the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information you gave. Witness, you're sure there were no mistakes at that time? Zavari. Very well then, Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination. First received the request from Lord Taylor about 20 days ago. You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, is that right? Indeed. It seemed that they have heard of my Zavarkaling reputation. And Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos. You better watch out too, Maya. You mean, in this box? Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews is especially taken with that urn. She wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me. Interesting tidbit. So you're sure that you had never seen that urn before? Indeed. May I ask Lady Andrews to confirm yourself? My security was focused entirely on the entrance into that warehouse. However, I, Lucat Mia, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. You mean this calling card? That's right. This is without a doubt my calling card. I guess Mr. Delight didn't make it this after all. Of course, because Amy knew about the emblem. Making this card authentic would have been child's play for him. Then no one entered the basement warehouse. Fortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for the period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. Hold that urn in my hands for the first time for the first 1 a.m. on October 12th. And this is the photo that proves that, huh? Indeed, to be honest, even if the photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter terribly much. This photo was a fake. Detective Amy might have stolen the urn whenever that was taken. That's true. You know, he'd been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can both wrap up this and put a bow in it. It's the stinking calling cards, it's speckled. I get it, I get it. 10 days beforehand. Okay. This is over this way. Mr. Remy, if you really are Master Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course. There's a problem with that calling card. Allow me to read the passage from the calling card that Master Mask had written. Take good care of that speckled urn. Now, speckled here? Surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true. But so what? Truth be told, there is no way the Master Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains, and these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to the tailor. Humph. Not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Shrite. That day the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say, error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. Oh, you can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means that the Vamy had seen this long before the crime even took place. In fact, he saw it when the fake photo was taken. Phew. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Waka wah wah wah. Let me use the restroom. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Grr, nah. Alright, that did it. He's broken. Nate, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose. Huh? I'm gonna use the restroom, I'll be right back.